She's one of the loudest voices in Congress. She spent decades lecturing Americans about ethics and accountability, but now she's the one in hot water. A powerful Democrat just got hit with a major ruling. A federal investigation exposed what Maxine Waters has been hiding, and now the judge is handing down the sentence. And you won't get this kind of hard-hitting coverage of these corrupt Democrats like Maxine Waters on MSNBC. But I've got the full story for you guys and the receipts. So do me a favor. Do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. And share this video, share my channel. Because the media won't tell you what really happened in the Maxine Waters scandal. I want to get the truth out to you, the American people. So here's the story of Congresswoman Maxine Waters' campaign and how it has been found guilty of violating multiple federal election laws. Now, she's been forced to pay the penalties, and the ruling comes after a formal Federal Election Commission or FEC probe into her 2020 campaign, Citizens for Waters, and this wasn't a minor paperwork mistake. These were systemic violations, and now the FEC has ordered Waters' campaign to cough up 68 grand in fines and penalties and send her treasurer to mandatory campaign finance training. And this comes on top of a separate report revealing how Maxine paid her own daughter nearly $200,000 for campaign work, part of a shady, backdoor, underhanded mailer operation that critics have long called out as political nepotism, despite her committee's excuses that these violations were just errors. The documents released Friday make it clear Waters' campaign repeatedly violated federal law and only avoided court by settling in advance. This is the same Maxine Waters who once called for Melania Trump to be deported and who has spent years accusing her political enemies of corruption. Now, she's the one guilty of corruption, and the judge is finally making her pay. Maybe not as much as we would like to see, but it is a sign that there's at least some justice in this case, and it sets the record straight that she is a corrupt Democrat. Yeah. And potentially, like Jasmine Crockett in Texas, she's under investigation for Act Blue donations. We want to see it also put on the record that these Democrats are corrupt. They're being called out, feet held to the fire. We got Letitia James, we got Maxine Waters, we had that one Tamika Brown or something like that, Tequila out of North Carolina or South Carolina. And odds are they're all going to cry racism or, some sort of, political retribution or something like that, trying to prevent them from re-election or whatever. They're not going to hold them. They're not going to have any form of remorse or accountability. They're going to claim it's all baseless and these allegations are baseless. Yada, yada, yada. We know their typical MO.
Ever wonder how much California lawmakers are really worth? Gavin Newsom, 20 million. Nancy Pelosi, 100 to 135 million. Kamala Harris, 7 to 9 million. Maxine Waters, $2 to $5 million. Together, they have over $150 million. All of them have been working for us for years and years and years, while thousands of people struggle in California with poverty, homeless, and sky rent. Look amongst me, right here. I'm in Oakland, California. This is Kamala Harris's hometown. As you look at this, who do you think the politics are really working for? Are the politicians working for us, or are they working for them? In California, they spent over $24 billion on the homeless problem, and a lot of that money is unaccounted for. They have no idea where that went. California has the largest homeless population in the nation. Over 180,000 people in California are homeless, yet we have the richest politicians in America living here. Two of them who want to actually become president or another governor of California. If those people do run for president, I want you to remember this. I want you to remember where they're from. Do you want all of America to look like this?
So let's take a look at Maxine Waters trying to gaslight the American public about Donald Trump and MAGA and anyone that she can say is a bad person or evil enemy of hers, to take the attention off of her and to deflect the blame away from her corrupt activities. Here, check this out.
The majority of basically whites in this country willing to accept a dishonorable human being, someone who has been convicted of 34 felonies, someone who has been openly and brazenly racist, someone who has, talked about his love for Putin and Kim Jong-un and made some statements favorable to Hitler. It doesn't matter.
This is all why you don't like him, but why has America voted for him?
Racism is the basic point. People don't like to talk about racism, but the fact of the matter is the majority of his votes are going to come from whites. And that's who has been talking to all campaign about taking the country back. Taking it back from whom? Taking it back from too many minorities who are doing too well, who are succeeding, who are closing the wealth gap. And something has to be done in his estimation. And so that's what it's really all about. It's not about the economy and all that, people would like to basically hide behind. It's about white versus other.
All right, just a quick reminder, folks, in between this rage, don't forget to like the video if you haven't already, and it does help tremendously. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you're welcome to do so. Let's get back to it.
But, it's looking possible tonight that Donald Trump has won the popular vote. Are you saying that the majority of Americans are racist?
I'm saying the majority of the Americans will buy into anything as long as they believe that somehow they will have more advantage, they will have more ownership, that they don't have to worry about others who will be equal to them. You can call it what you want, but that's the way it is.
It looks, Congressman Walters, as if he's expanded his base to include more black voters, more Latino voters, more people of color this time round. I mean, not more than Harris, but more than last time round. Doesn't that fight your theory?
Well, I don't know. We've got to wait and see. I don't know what the expansion is. There may be some expansion in the Latino community, but all of this talk about getting black votes, I don't think is true.
Maxine Waters is another case of a Democrat who assumes the rules doesn't apply to them. And it raises real questions about who else is getting away with the same thing just because they're in power. Maxine Waters is guilty. Some price is being paid. And the American people aren't going to forget this.
Very much, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Bessent, this is the first time we've met. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. We actually met one New Year's Eve in the Bahamas. And I was...
He didn't make an impression.
Why don't I remember that?
Well, you were much better at the electric slide than I was. And I was with the Prime Minister of the Bahamas yesterday, Prime Minister Davis, who sends his regards.
Well, were you with my husband when he was the ambassador to the Bahamas appointed by Clinton?
So,
well, you're not going to like this.